Good morning. My name is Reginald Andre, and I am a cybersecurity student with ARC Solvers. And I say student. I used to always say cybersecurity expert, but when I started to thinking about it, I was like, well, a doctor practices medicine because medicine is always evolving. And I believe that in the cybersecurity world, you forever have to be a student because every day is changing. And today we're going to be talking about AvidXchange. So if you use AvidXchange, you're going to want to listen up to this video because we have some important news that's going to be valuable to you and your business as it relates to this application. So AvidXchange, it's a leader provider of accounts payable automation software and payment solutions. A lot of companies use it. We deal with a lot of companies that use it, which is why I felt that it would be useful for us to do this video. So many property management companies, they use it because they have probably over 50 vendors and they're getting hundreds of bills a month that they have to pay. So this is kind of a way where a vendor can now take an invoice, submit it to the AvidXchange system, and then from there, the property manager can look at the invoice, have a board of directors sign off on the invoice, and then from there, Avid will actually do the transfer funds or even send a check to that vendor. So they're a public company. They have first quarter of this year's revenue topped $86 million, and they have about 8,000 customers. So this is a big company. And you would think that with a company like this, they have their act straight when it comes to cybersecurity. But this comes to show you, even with a company like this that's probably about 300 million in revenue every year, it doesn't matter how big or how small you are, you can get hacked. They have thousands of employees, and all it takes is that one click, one error for something to now go wrong. So let's get into the story. So we have AvidXchange actually coming out with a press release that says they know that something happened. Specifically, we have a ransomware group called Ransom House, and they publicly wrote, "Dear AvidXchange, we strongly recommend you to contact us to prevent your confidential data documents from being leaked." And this is on the Ransom House dark website. So they gave samples of stolen data that include non-disclosure agreements, employee payroll information, corporate bank accounts, passwords, usernames, and in some cases, answers to the security questions of the company's systems. And listen to this, it included guessable passwords that had the derivations of the company's name and the word password itself. So we're going to get into that a little bit. Basically, from reading this article, their corporate systems got compromised. And when these hackers come in, they try to get all of the passwords. A lot of times these passwords are stored on Google Chrome. It could be stored on an Excel spreadsheet, wherever they can find it. And what they're saying is that they found that, so for some systems, the password contained the word password, or the password had the word Avid in there. And a lot of times people are lazy and they may say, okay, well, if I started working the company in 2020, I'm going to make the password Avid 2020. And next year, when I have to change the password, it's going to be Avid 2021, 2022, and so forth. So that's what they were saying in this article. So they have a big mess in their hands, and they're still investigating exactly how this happened and what information is out there that's going to be out in the dark web, and if their customers' information is compromised. So because they are not saying a lot, I would just recommend that if you are using the AvidXchange platform, reset your password. This password, especially because this is what's paying your bills. If a threat actor or hacker gets into the system and they have access to your logins and they start wiring money from left and right, it's going to be really, really ugly to get the money back. So we highly recommend that you change your Avid passwords. If you have two-factor authentication off on it, you have to turn on two-factor authentication. And another thing too with Avid is this is actually their second time this year. So we're in May. So 2 times in 5 months they've been compromised. So a couple of months ago, we reported on this channel that the Russian-speaking Clop ransomware group had a go anywhere system. So Go Anywhere is a tool that a lot of people use for remote access. And in this specific case, Avid was using the Go Anywhere technology to transfer files to a specific company that prints checks. So remember how I mentioned in the beginning, Avid prints checks for its customers. Instead of you have like a building, a management company, they may have a board or someone who's in charge of writing the checks, not the manager. Well, instead of the manager now having to wait for someone to physically sign checks, all of this can be done electronically on their platform. And then what is happening is Avid then sends this system to a third-party company using the Go Anywhere technology to actually print the checks. They don't actually print them checks themselves. So this is the second time. So this is concerning. We have a big company that does a lot of financial has a lot of financial information, and this is their second time this year in 5 months that they've been compromised. So please change your passwords, turn on two-factor factor authentication, and as we get more information as far as what's happening, we'll come back here. Follow our channel, like and subscribe, so that way you can get the notifications when we go live. All right, take care. Bye-bye.